Ever feel that urge, to just get something complex quickly? Like you want the shortcut to really understanding it inside out.
Yeah, absolutely. That feeling of needing to grasp a big topic without spending months on it.
Exactly. And today, we're tackling a big one, the UPSC Civil Services Examination in India. It's known for being, well, a beast.
It really is. And we know you've got some material on it, the upsc.pdf.
Yeah.
So our goal here is to help you pull out the key stuff efficiently.
Right. Whether you're just curious about this huge Indian exam or maybe thinking about it more seriously down the line, we want to give you the essentials.
We'll look at how it's structured, the main topics,
Yeah.
some preparation ideas, even the mindset needed, all distilled from that source material.
Think of it as your fast track to being well informed on the UPSC CSE without getting totally swamped by all the details.
Okay, so let's start right at the top.
Hmm.
What exactly is this UPSC Civil Services exam?
All right. So the document tells us it's India's top competitive exam. The Union Public Service Commission runs it every year.
And it's the main way people get into some really high-profile government jobs.
Yeah, we're talking the big ones. IAS, that's the Administrative Service, IPS for police, IFS for foreign service. Those are probably the best known.
But it's broader than that, right?
Yeah.
About 24 services in total, all pretty prestigious roles within the Indian government structure.
Definitely. And it's not quick. The whole process, start to finish, takes about a year.
A full year.
Yeah.
And it has this reputation, globally even, as being an incredibly tough exam.
No kidding. So how is this year-long challenge actually put together? What are the stages?
Okay, it breaks down into three main parts. The first is the preliminary exam.
The prelims, that's the initial filter, right? Objective questions.
Exactly, it's a screening test. Two papers here. First is general studies. That's 100 questions, 200 marks.
Okay.
Then there's CSE paper 2. That one has 80 questions, also 200 marks.
Hmm.
But here's the key thing about CSE.
Mm-hmm.
It's qualifying. You only need to score 33% to pass it. Your actual CCS score doesn't get added to your final rank.
Ah, okay. So it checks for baseline aptitude, but the GS paper I score is what matters for getting through this first stage.
Precisely for qualifying for mains? Yes. But importantly, neither the prelims marks count towards the final merit list that just gets you to the next stage.
Right. Okay. So prelims is the gateway to the main examination. And this is where things get much more intense, I gather. Written descriptive papers.
That's right. The mains is the written part. It involves 9 papers in total.
9 papers.
Yeah.
That-
But wait, 2 of those are qualifying? There's an Indian language paper and an English paper, both 300 marks each. Like CSET, you just need to pass these.
Okay, so they don't count for the final ranking either.
Correct. The final merit list, your rank, is based on the scores from the other 7 papers.
Got it. So what are those 7?
All right, you've got the essay paper, that's 250 marks. Then 4 general studies papers, GSE 2, 3, and 4. Each of those is also 250 marks.
Okay, essay GSI 2, 3, 4. What do they cover generally?
Well, GSM is mostly history, geography, society. GS3 focuses on polity, constitution, governance, social justice, international relations.
Right.
GS3 covers technology, economy, environment, security, disaster management, kind of the applied stuff. And GS3 is ethics, integrity, and aptitude.
Ethics. Okay, that makes 5 papers that count. What are the last 2?
The last 2 are for your optional subject. Candidates choose one subject from a long list, and there are 2 papers on it, paper 1 and paper 2, each worth 250 marks.
So that's essay 250 plus GSIIV, 4 by 250 equals 1,000, plus optionals, 2 by 250 equals 500. That adds up to 750 marks for the written mains part that counts.
Exactly. That 1750 is the total for the main score that determines your rank, along with the next stage.
Which is the final stage.
Right.
The personality test, the interview.
Correct. The personality test or interview. This adds another 275 marks to the potential total. It happens in Delhi at the UPSC headquarters, UPSC Bhavan.
And this isn't just a Q&A about facts, is it? The source says it's more about assessing the person.
Absolutely. They're looking at personality traits, how aware you are of what's going on, your thinking process, how you make decisions under pressure. It's quite holistic.
Okay, that structure makes sense. Prelims filter, mains for deep written assessment, interview for personality. Now, what about the content, the syllabus, especially for those big general studies papers?
It's broad, really broad. You need to cover history, ancient, medieval, modern Indian history, plus world history.
Whoa.
Then geography, both Indian and world. Polity and the Constitution is a huge chunk. The whole political system, governance, rights issues, social justice.
Okay.
Then there's the economy, environment and ecology, science and tech, and of course current affairs, which means staying constantly updated.
And the ethics paper, GSIV you mentioned, ethics, integrity, aptitude.
That's right. It often involves case studies, testing ethical reasoning.
So it really covers almost every aspect of society and governance. And the essay paper,
Yeah, the essay, you write 2 essays, choosing from a list of topics. Often they are sort of philosophical or based on current events, tests your ability to build a coherent argument.
makes sense. And the optional subjects, you said there's a choice.
Yes, a wide choice. Our source lists things like anthropology, geography, sociology, political science, philosophy, public administration, even literature subjects in various languages.
So you can pick something you're genuinely strong in or interested in.
Exactly. It's a strategic choice as well as an academic one.
Okay, understanding the what is one thing, but the how. How on earth do people prepare for this? The source must have guidance on strategy.
It does. It breaks it down into phases. The first bit is called the foundation phase, maybe the first 0 to 3 months.
Foundation. What's the focus there?
Building basics. Reading the insert school textbooks, grades 6 to 12, especially for subjects like history, geography, polity, economy, science, getting those fundamentals really solid.
Inserts, right. Hear that a lot.
Yeah. And at the same time, starting the habit of reading a good newspaper daily. The Hindu or Indian Express are mentioned. Plus, really digging into the syllabus itself and looking at past exam papers. Understanding the battlefield, basically.
Makes sense. Get the lay of the land. What comes after the foundation?
Then you move into the core preparation phase. This is the long haul, maybe months 4 to 10. It's about deep diving into standard reference books.
Like specific recommendations?
Yes, this document mentions quite a few, like M. Lax McCanth for polity. That's almost a Bible for aspirants. Spectrum for modern Indian history. Maybe Tamil Nadu board books for ancient medieval. G.C. Leong plus inserts for geography.
Yeah.
For economics, maybe Ramesh Singh's book or watching Miral Patel's videos. And for ethics, books like Lexicon or Subarao are suggested.
So specialized books on top of the insert foundation.
Right, and critically, this phase isn't just reading. It's about active learning, making notes digital or by hand, whatever works for you. And really importantly, starting regular answer writing practice.
Practicing writing descriptive answers, like in the mains.
Exactly. The source even points to platforms like Vision IAS or Forum ES for this. And another crucial thing, joining mock test series for both prelims and mains.
Mock tests seem key, simulating the exam conditions.
Absolutely essential. Then, as the prelims exam gets closer, say the last 3 months,
The focus shifts.
yeah, it becomes prelims focus time. Heavy emphasis on revision, revision, revision. Taking lots of full-length mock tests, maybe 10, 15, under time conditions, and dedicated practice for that CSAT paper, making sure you clear the qualifying score easily.
Okay, intense focus on the first hurdle. What if you clear prelims?
Then it's straight into mains focus. This period between prelims results and the mains exam is intense. It demands really focused answer writing, lots of essay practice, deep revision of your optional subject, and working through ethics case studies.
Right, sharpening those descriptive skills. And then finally, interview prep.
Yes. If you get the call for the personality test, preparation involves doing mock interviews, staying super updated on current affairs, and generally working on how you present yourself and communicate your thoughts.
It sounds like an incredibly structured, long-term effort. The source also mentions smart study techniques. It's not just about hours logged.
Definitely not. It emphasizes studying smart, not just hard. Prioritizing revision is mentioned again and again.
What else?
Having a schedule daily, weekly, helps keep things on track. The value of mock tests and analyzing previous year questions, EYQs, is stressed repeatedly. It helps you understand the pattern and where you stand.
Yeah, understanding the exam's mind. Any specific techniques mentioned?
The Pomodoro technique gets a mention, focused work, bursts with short breaks, and also using a micro goal tracker, breaking the huge syllabus down into tiny, manageable daily or weekly goals.
That sounds psychologically helpful, avoiding that feeling of being completely overwhelmed.
Exactly. And to support all this study, having the right resources is crucial. The document lists quite a few.
We touched on some books. What else? Like a summary of key resources per subject.
Yeah, it gives a nice overview. History, inserts, spectrum, maybe NIOS materials, geography, inserts, G.C. Leong, and definitely an atlas. Polity, Lax McCanth is the main one. Economy, inserts and Munal videos are popular.
Okay. Environment, ethics, current affairs.
Environment, Shankar I.S. book is often cited. Ethics, Lexicon or Subarao. For current affairs, it's continuous. Good newspapers, the government's Press Information Bureau, PIB, Your Jana magazine, and monthly compilations from coaching institutes like Vision or Insights.
Wow, quite a list. Any online resources mentioned, like YouTube?
Yep. Runal's channel for economy, Study IQ, Drishti ISs, they have Hindi and English content, select videos on Unacademy, sleepy classes, quite a few options there too.
So plenty of material out there. But beyond the books and videos, the source talks about the mental side, right? The challenges.
It does, and this is so important. It highlights that UPSC is as much a mental challenge, maybe even more so, than just an academic one.
What kind of challenges?
Things like handling pressure from peers or family, dealing with self-doubt, society's expectations, and the very real risk of burnout over such a long preparation period.
That sounds tough. How does the source suggest coping?
It really stresses having a good support system. Family, friends, mentors, maybe a study group, people who understand.
And self-care.
Yes, things like mindfulness, maybe journaling to process thoughts, even seeking therapy if needed. It's about managing stress proactively.
And importantly, perspective, right?
Absolutely. The source reminds us that the journey itself is valuable. Learning, growing. Your self-worth shouldn't be tied only to whether you clear the exam or not. That's a crucial mindset.
That leads nicely into another point the document makes, thinking about alternatives. A plan B?
Right. It acknowledges pragmatically that not everyone clears UPSC, and that's okay. Success isn't defined solely by this one exam.
What kind of alternatives does it suggest?
Various things. Other government exams like the state PSCs, exams for regulatory bodies like RBI or SEBI, the CGAP-PF for paramilitary forces.
So, other public service roads.
Yes, but also roles outside direct government service, like working in think tanks, NGOs, policy research organizations, the education technology sector, journalism, or public policy roles in the private sector.
Lots of avenues to contribute, basically.
Exactly. It reinforces that the skills and knowledge gained during UPSC prep are valuable in many fields.
So, wrapping up the core message from the source, what are the final thoughts on this whole UPSC journey?
It concludes by emphasizing that preparing for UPSC is a process of significant personal growth. You develop awareness, discipline, resilience qualities valuable for life, regardless of the outcome.
And it gives that formula again.
Yeah, the neat summary. Strategy, syllabus, plus smart work, plus revision, plus mindset. Covers all the bases.
And a final word of encouragement.
Just emphasizing commitment, consistency, and belief in yourself and the process. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay, so let's try and boil this down. Our deep dive into the source material shows the UPSC CSE is this multi-stage behemoth of an exam for top Indian government jobs.
Right. Massive syllabus, needs super strategic prep over a long time. Smart techniques, tons of practice, mock tests are crucial, and you need the right resources.
And critically, it's a huge mental game. Mindset, support, handling pressure are just as vital as knowing the facts. But the journey itself builds valuable skills.
Definitely. Even if you, listening, aren't planning to take the UPSC, understanding how such a complex challenge is structured and tackled is pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it really shows how you can break down something that seems impossible. The planning, the resilience. Those principles apply anywhere, don't they?
Absolutely. Which brings us to a final thought for you to maybe ponder.
Go on.
Thinking about this comprehensive strategic approach needed for UPSC, is there a challenge in your own life, something that seems overwhelming right now, that you could maybe break down and tackle with similar planning and consistent effort?
Applying that UPSC level strategy to personal goals, that's definitely something to think about. How methodical planning and sheer perseverance can make a difference.